Record of Ragnarok is a walking example as to why we need to stop giving these serial killers such cold nicknames.
What were you saying a moment ago? Aren't you going to crush my malice?
They call him Jack the Ripper, the most elusive murderer in human history. He terrorized the slums of London. The London City Police staked their reputation on tracking him down. But in the end, they just couldn't catch him.
Like, come on bro, how are you gonna have one of Shaitan's greatest soldiers be called Jack the Ripper? Of course he's gonna become the most popular serial killer with a name like that. You're damn near promoting him. I say we start giving them bad names to discourage people from following in their footsteps, like Jack the Jerk or something, I don't know. Anyways, after the last season, it's officially 2-1 to the gods after my gold Kojiro brought home the W. So let's cut the yapping and get straight into the meat and potatoes. After the gods just took their first L to someone from the same species as EDP 445, their pride's been hurt, so they decide it's time to send out none other than Hercules, the god of heroes and strength. Hercules is someone whose heart is so pure, he once fought against an entire army of gods just to protect his own people. So who do you think they'll put this kind-hearted individual up against? Well, Brunhilde decides to call upon the most evil, foul, disgusting monster the UK has ever seen, Jack the Ripper. Now, for those of you not familiar with the British law, Jack the Ripper is an all-star Hall of Fame MVP when it comes to the UK. In 1888, this man Jack the Ripper came, murdered 5 women in East London in the span of like 2 months, and then disappeared forever, never to be seen or heard of ever again. And you're probably thinking, only 5? Which is a crazy thing to think, by the way. But even though there are plenty of other serial killers with a lot more action in the field, Jack was able to get away whilst he had the whole country looking for him, to the point that even in the anime, Sherlock Holmes himself says that he was unable to crack this case. Jack's record is more flawless than Todo's in Jujutsu Kaisen. Alright, I'm even crazy right now. I'm really out here glazing a murderer. So it seems like we got ourselves a classic battle of good versus evil. So you already know what it is. Let the squabble commence. Prior to the fight, Jack actually requested a stage change. So now, instead of fighting in the Colosseum, we are boxing in the slums of London. Jack whips out a giant pair of scissors as his Volender. He must think he's mine from a Kame got killed. And you know, now that I'm getting a better look at Hercules, this guy is literally just a JoJo's character. The build, the hair, the ideology. This might be Jonathan Joestar. Jack, realizing he's fighting a Joestar, hits us with a Joseph Joestar classic and skedaddles out of there. So Hercules chases him into an alleyway, not realizing that Jack has set up a trap that ends up doing 0 damage. Because Jack is a human fighting a god, the only thing that can damage them is weapons that were made with the Volender. Hercules tries to hit Jack, so he uses a grappling hook like Batman to escape. Hercules jumps after him and goes for a down heavy, and he clashes with Jack's scissors and they end up just shattering. Like, this is crazy, bro really got one-tapped. But like a true roadman, he pulls out a bunch of knives and throws them at Hercules, and surprisingly, Hercules has been turned into Swiss cheese. Got him out here looking like Sasuke after trying to box Killer B. When I first saw this, I was genuinely confused as to what was going on. Turns out Jack lied about the scissors being his Volender, and that his real Volender is actually his handbag that lets anything he creates become his Volender. That's really 200 IQ, I won't lie. Jack continues his onslaught of knife and projectiles, straight spamming like them Broly mains on Sparking Zero. Hercules keeps pushing forward and goes for another down slam, but gets deflected by Jack's umbrella. Hercules is tired of Jack's tricks, so he begins charging up, releasing the first labor, Bohemian Lion, and creates a giant astral projection lion, blowing Jack's back out. I owe you an apology, I wasn't really familiar with your game. Jack gets up and snaps his dislocated shoulder back into place, and can someone tell me whether the humans get a physical stat boost from the Volender, because no way he should have been able to tank this hit. Is he not just like a regular 39-year-old bloke? Even though Hercules has started using his ultimates, there are some drawbacks. Anytime he uses them, his tattoos on his body start growing, causing so much pain that the average god would pass out. But Hercules, he's just standing there like nothing happened, unfazed. Turns out Hercules actually used to be a human that lived in Greece. He was a very righteous and protecting kid by the name of Alcides. The only issue was that he was extremely weak. He was even losing squabbles against Owen from Total Drama. But he's that Tanjiro go-lucky, always smiling type character, so he continued to grind XP, getting stronger and stronger until one day the gods decided his village deserves divine punishment for always stealing and starting wars. So they sent down Ares, the god of war. But guess who's standing there, ready to go band for band with a god like Kratos? After realizing he's too weak, he pulls out Zeus's ambrosia, which if not worthy enough will kill you if you drink it. Hercules doesn't have anything to lose, so he pops his strength potion. Bro begins straight tweaking. He's moving like the health inspector in that one SpongeBob episode. Ares, thinking he died, decides to continue his own Oslo just for Hercules to have awoken into his Super Saiyan transformation. Got him out here looking like Thor with the blonde hair. Hercules proceeds to damn near off-screen Ares' entire army. He must be part of the Blackbeard pirates. Even Ares is doing bad out here, but just before Hercules can finish the job, Zeus himself steps in and invites him to become a god of Olympus, and the rest is history. We return to the squabble, and Jack decides to apply full court pressure to Hercules. He goes in for the slash, backflipping into a double throwable, and he really loves the knife spam. Hercules eats the hits, allowing him to close the distance on Jack, and Jack begins skywalking? You are not Sanji, bro. Turns out he actually strung up an entire arena with string like he's Lubbock. Jack proceeds to use the wires to bounce the knives off them, letting them ricochet into Hercules. This guy's battle IQ is off the charts. He decides to use another one of his 12 labors, practically full countering Jack and breaking his monocle. We end up getting some more background lore on Jack the Ripper, and it seems like he was extremely poor whilst his mother was selling herself to make ends meet. But despite his living conditions, this little cutie patootie was still extremely happy because he felt like his mother truly loved him. We also find out Jack has an ability in his left eye that lets him see what emotions a person is inhibiting through colors. Like red is anger and blue is superiority, and yellow and gold is like true love. This man really got a Keke Genkai. However, sadly, the man his mother was in love with, who is also the biological father of Jack, went and got married with another woman. So Jack's mother became distraught, and turns out the only reason she had Jack was because she wanted to make sure she could marry this guy. Damn, I don't even know what I'd do at that point. The beautiful gold color his mother used to radiate turns to red, so Jack decided, hey, I got nothing to lose at this point, and kills his own mother, having the color turn from red to purple, which is the color of fear, which he ends up falling in love with, causing his spree of serial killings. That right there is how you do a villain backstory. Take notes, Marvel. We return to the boxing, and Hercules is down slamming everything Jack is throwing at him, so he decides to try and escape again, just for Hercules to bring down the entire building. I hate to say it, but Jack might be cooked. Hercules uses yet another labor, so Jack grabs the face of the clock tower and throws it like a ninja shuriken. Hercules, thinking he can just tank it, puts up his hand just to get turned into future Gohan. When I first watched this, I was perplexed, flabbergasted, and confused. How did this man Jack the Ripper throw this clock face and turn Hercules' arm into a piece of Johnny Test meatloaf? I need answers. Turns out Jack the Ripper lied again. This guy really thinks he's Aizen. The scissors weren't his Volander, the bag wasn't his Volander, it was actually the gloves all along. He fused with Tiger from Toradora, turning her into OJ Simpson's gloves, allowing anything he touches to turn into a divine weapon. Imagine playing a video game with Jack the Ripper, bro. You guys could start a Minecraft world and agree to no cheats just to see him in full diamond armor and a house built like this within the first 20 minutes of starting the world. I'd be sick. Now that all the tricks are out the bag, let the squabble commence. Jack reads Hercules' emotions, and turns out there is not an ounce of fear in his heart. You gotta respect it. He's just an all-loving Joe bro, and the color he's taken on matches that of his mother before she betrayed him. Hercules throws his weapon, creating an actual pocket dimension. This literally reminds me of that slug Dr. Black hit Eli's dad with at the start of Slug Terror. What is happening? He proceeds to summon Cerberus, and the only Cerberus I know is the pet dog in Hades. This labor allows him to equip some type of battle armor that gives him insane strength. He continues to hawk down Jack straight berserker style until he finally manages to land a hit on Jack. He tries to escape just for Hercules to continue the press and hit Jack with the down air into the spiked fence. Jack's not doing so good, but he uses his cape to take down the building and dropping it onto Hercules. Damn. And then the camera just pans over to Jack, posed up with one hand on the head, one hand on the wound. I know Jack posted this one on the gram talking about some Hercules asked for directions, so I stabbed him 64 times. Hashtag welcome to the UK. Hercules ends up getting up, and they continue to go bar for bar. Jack looks like he's taken one too many hits from the war god Hercules, but despite literally no one cheering for him, and some of the humans even cheering for the ops, he still decides to fight. Hercules manages to clock him in the temple, thinking he's knocked out. He goes for the killing blow just for Jack the Ripper to revenge counter, stabbing Hercules in the chest, just how Dr. Giro did Yamcha. I would have bet my left testicle on the fact that Hercules was going to take home the W. Talk about an upset. Rodri winning the Ballon d'Or, Astrobot winning Game of the Year. Like, this is crazy. And despite fighting, putting his life on the line against the gods and winning, the people are still hating on him. Jack the Ripper, the human embodiment of malice. Let this be an example to all of you guys watching right now. People are gonna hate on you anyway, so just do what you love without worrying about what anyone else is thinking. This was really the first fight where I wasn't sure who to root for? Alright, me and my homies are still doing the 100k race, and this guy Ali is getting a little bit too close for comfort. Like, he's really trying to steal my first place right now. Me and him are really moving like Goku and Vegeta, Gojo versus Sukuna, Naruto versus Sasuke. Like, it's really a war. So make sure you guys all subscribe so we can win this race. I know we can do it. Let's get back to the video. Fast forward and we cut over to Loki confronting the literal Indian god Buddha because he thinks he's some sort of spy working with Brunhilde. We also get to meet two of the humans who haven't fought yet, and this 5'3" dwarf looks like he's gonna be a problem. Got that Kid Buu crash out energy. I'm guessing this is their attempt to create some sort of plot outside of the boxing, but I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. We don't care. Let's get back to the boxing at hand. The humans have evened the score to make it 2-2, so Brunhilde decides to call on this one-piece character of a man, an 8'9" titan, the walking behemoth and the greatest sumo wrestler of all time, Tameemon, Raiden. And to match him, they gave him the muscle mommy Big Mom variant Valkyrie. And on the god side, we got the purple god of destruction, Beerus. Wait, my bad, wrong shit. And on the god side, we got the purple god of destruction, Shiva. And here they go again, wasting precious animation budget on bouncing biddies. Who gave the gooners in the studio so much creative freedom? Stop it. Get some help. So you already know what it is. Let the squabble commence. Now you'd think because Raiden is a sumo wrestler, he'd start using some type of secret sumo arts to pack up Shiva, but nah, this man sprints at full speed, leaps into the air for a two-footed Brexit tackle straight to the face. Look at the form, he's moving like Teen Titans Robin, and then follows up with an uppercut followed by a Javante Davis left hook. Got Shiva dropping to his knees like me after finding out Apple took my last $7. Raiden goes to finish the battle with a knee, but Shiva catches it before countering with a double fist to the chest. I know that's gonna hurt. Shiva with 4 arms kinda looks like Ashura from Ashura's Wrath, or maybe even like Badigadi from Mushoku Tensei. We get some background lore on Raiden, and turns out he was born with a condition where his muscles were way too strong for his body to handle, to the point that him even trying to stand up as a baby would have all his bones in his body crushed by his muscles. But he still continued to try and control his muscles until one day he found a way to suppress his own strength with a technique called the 100 seals. This is basically like Kenpachi with his eye patch, or Naruto with the 9-tail seal. So this basically means that during his entire wrestling career and time alive on Earth, he has not once been able to use a true 100% of his strength until now, because his Volunde is like a tight muscle suit that allows him to release the 100 seals and use 100% of his strength. Even the way he releases the 100 seals technique is literally the same way Jiraiya released Naruto's 9-tail seal. We return to the boxing, and Raiden flash steps in with an overhand right, followed by a barrage of punches, leading into a... Is this a Killer Bee lariat? Oh nah, I know Shiva's throat is gonna be sore for weeks after that. Shiva gets up and goes for the headbutt, followed by another double fist hit. Got Raiden out and hitting the stanky leg. Shiva starts applying full court pressure again, landing a Gum Gum Gatling on Raiden. Raiden grabs onto Shiva's hand like Satoru Gojo did to Hanami and pulverizes his entire hand into mince meat. Shiva doesn't care and continues his onslaught, and the best way to describe the fight is like a Baki fight. They are out here going face to face, head to head, nut to nut. This is peak fiction. There's something about two people just getting in the arena and squabbling that itches the caveman side of my brain perfectly. It's one of my favorite genders. We find out some background lore about Shiva, and honestly, he's really just a chill guy that wants to hit a little jiggle every now and again. Born to be a slice of life protagonist, but forced to be an Indian god of destruction. In his backstory, we basically learn about how he defeated 116 gods with his homie to become the #1 god in India. India really has a crazy amount of gods that people use like in different medias. Like Shiva beat Indra and Ashura as if they are not the sons of the Sage of Six Paths and the ancestors of Naruto and Sasuke. Anyways, after Shiva won the Indian Bus Rush Battle Royale, he was crowned the top of the 116 gods of India. We return to the squabble and Shiva begins dancing like some sort of drunken fist Rock Lee. Raiden must have not noticed the skill counter though, because Shiva popped that after image strike and begins pummeling Raiden. Look at his face, he's taking all sorts of backshots right now. He started punching him so fast he ignited onto fire, and to make it even worse, Shiva turns into Shinra Kusekabe and hits Raiden with a devil's footprint. After Raiden just got hit with Neji's 64 palm strike, he decides enough is enough and takes on a sumo stance. And you know you're cooked when the opposition's friends start crying in joy before he even landed his attack. Raiden takes up the Kuroko palm strike pose, leaps in with a literal Rasengan in his palm, and proceeds to slap the jeepers creepers out of Shiva, got him spinning around like a Beyblade. Shiva is doing horrible, bro went from 4 hands to 1 hand, but Raiden ain't doing good either. He exerted too much power in his last strike, causing his body to damn near fall apart. Imagine Raiden with a body that can actually handle his strength. Shiva would be cooked. Shiva saw Raiden release his seals and said, "I think it looks much cooler on me," and proceeds to release his own limiter, forcing his heart rate to increase so fast he spontaneously combusts, actually turning into Ashura. This must be what them people on TikTok think the average human is capable of.
Everybody know a human can set themselves on fire, but did you know that humans can just burst into fucking flames? Yeah, it's called spontaneous human combustion. We could be sitting on your chair watching Law & Order, and the next thing you know, you roast like a motherfucking marshmallow. Yeah, you could die like that.
Where do you sick bastards get off putting out this false fucking knowledge, bro? No, the fuck you can't.
They continue to squabble, and it's basically become another battle of attrition. Shiva starts using Killua's Phantom Step, getting chip damage off on Raiden. They continue to go hit for hit until Raiden decides to charge up one last attack. Shiva faces it head on, and Raiden melts. Got his arm looking like Paper Mario. It's over. Shiva finishes it, and Raiden dies without ever touching the ground like a true sumo wrestler. Nah, this is tough. Got him going out like Whitebeard. I'm not gonna lie, I like both Shiva and Raiden equally. What a nice squabble. It's officially 3-2 to the gods, and Zeus wants to continue his onslaught, and he asks Buddha to fight in the next round. So Buddha is like, I bet, but he proceeds to fight for the humans instead. And then he grabs the mic like, hello, test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. Yeah, Zeus told me I had to fight in the next round, but he never said for who, so yeah, I'ma fight for the humans. Nah, this one spun me differently, and they really gave him the whole introduction, glazing him, talking about some between the heavens and earth, he alone is the honored one, you are not Satoru Gojo. But nah, genuinely, this had me so hyped. Zeus comes down and he says he doesn't care about what Buddha does, and he sends out the 7 fortunes to fight instead. So these guys proceed to fuse into one being and turn into some type of Kid Buu type demon called Zerofuku. And this demon pulls out Rykard's blasphemous blade off his back. Look at this is literally the same weapon. Before we can tap into the squabbles, we gotta familiarize ourselves with Zerofuku's lore. He used to be a chill god that lived on the earth, spreading happiness and supporting the humans. Look at this little cutie patootie. But after years of curing illnesses, healing people, and solving conflicts by absorbing the pain of the humans, it started taking a toll on his body, but he still thinks it's all worth it because the humans will be happier. Just for him to go back to the town where he originally saved a bunch of people and to find them indulging in vulgarity, gluttony, and other sins. That's when bro realized humans are always going to revert to some sort of sin or evil. And to make things worse, Buddha happens to be passing through that town, and even though the people following Buddha were poor and dirty, they still had nothing but smiles and joy on their face, which made Zerofuku angry because he felt as if his destiny was being mocked. And that's when Buddha drops the coldest bar and says, you can't take the pain of the humans and expect them to be happy. You can't force happiness on other people because happiness comes from within. And that was basically the last straw for Zerofuku, realizing a mere human at the time was better at his job than him, the god. So that's when he turned from Majin Buu into Kid Buu, from a god of fortune to a god of misfortune. So now you understand the background lore, let's get to the squabble at hand. Buddha steps in and dropkick Zerofuku before literally teleporting all over the place. Zerofuku is hitting nothing but air. Zerofuku's axe continues to grow and keeps trying to hit Buddha, but this light skin has an actual Keke Genkai. His Sharingan allows him to see into the future using his opponent's ki. Zerofuku is really getting sunned right now. This is how I was moving when my little brother tried being player 1 on the Wii. Zerofuku grows his axe to try and create some type of AoE attack, but Buddha uses his staff of the 6 realms and creates a giant shield. His staff is basically like Kai's non-ability in the fact that he can't choose what weapon he gets because the staff reacts to his emotions. Buddha uses his staff to create a club and slides in to knock down Zerofuku, and look at this light skin, bro. There was no reason to be sliding across my screen like that. Back off.
I'm sipping on promethazine with lean. I fell in love. I fell in love with lean. I fell in love. Sipping on promethazine with lean. I fell in love. I can't put down the
Zero is doing bad out here, got him on the floor holding his stomach like me after trying Taco Bell for the first time. We learned some more background lore about Buddha, and to make a long story short, he used to be the prince of a wealthy nation and he basically had everything anyone could ever want. But when his best friend died and told Buddha that he has never felt true happiness in his entire life, Buddha realized all these worldly possessions are pointless and decided to live life for himself and himself only, not worrying about what anyone else thought. This caused him to cultivate a following of people who believed in his philosophy. Zerofuku and Buddha continue to go hit for hit and enter a sword battle, but I genuinely don't think Zerofuku has even landed a single hit on Buddha. Matter of fact, cooking with Buddha. Buddha slashes Zerofuku in the chest and begins lecturing him, explaining that the reason he has so much hate in his heart is because he doesn't love himself, which causes Zerofuku to like have some type of epiphany, turning him back to his old self. After Buddha saves Zerofuku, they decide to put the knives down and punch it out like the good old days. They even gave us this Goku vs Vegeta type freeze frame. They continue to stand and bang in the pocket before Buddha lands an overhand right on Zerofuku, knocking him down. And that's it. Buddha wins, giving the humans their third victory. Wait, hold up. What's that sound? Bro, what is happening? The two dragons Aang and Zuko did the fire dance with spawn out of Zerofuku before devouring him and spawning in some type of actual demon. At first I thought this was Zerofuku's trump card, but turns out the Oni horns were actually like a parasite set by some guy named Beelzebub, and this info gets brought to us by none other than Hades himself. Don't think I don't know about Zagreus, bro. You better let him come to Olympus. This demon is basically from Helheim, and a very long time ago, before Hades even ran the place, this demon was said to have like destroyed more than half of Helheim before magically disappearing. So from what I understand, they basically summoned some brother from Jahannam, who is one of Shaitan's greatest warriors, and now we're gonna watch this brother fight? That's gotta be illegal. Anyways, you know the drill. Let the squabbles commence. Buddha and Papias continue to go hit for hit, but it turns out that Buddha can't actually use his future sight on Papias because his soul is so dark, Buddha can't see the light. Papias starts charging up the drill from Gurren Lagann, so Buddha tries to use his shield just for Papias to penetrate it and stab Buddha's eye. This man Papias is a freak, he's out here laughing like Kawhi Leonard. They continue to go sword to sword, meat to meat, but Buddha is on the back foot right now. Buddha calls on his spear and it transforms into a form he has never seen before. Salakaya. I just definitely butchered that, by the way. Buddha and Papias go in for that clash, and Buddha finally manages to land a hit on this One Piece character, but turns out he got stabbed in the process. Buddha is chilling on a cool 75 HP with no heals or shield. He must be playing that OG Fortnite. Papias is flabbergasted as to how Buddha is still standing. Bro is literally terrified of his resolve. And before you say it's an asspull, you gotta look at it logically. Imagine you're fighting your arch nemesis and you've been whooping him for 40 straight minutes, doing him like how them One Piece NPCs did Kuma. Just for bro to keep getting up, I'd be shook too. I'd think he gotta be using some type of African juju. Buddha goes in for another hit, just for his staff to get slapped back into base form, and then proceeds to completely shatter his divine weapon. I ain't got a good feeling about this. I was the knight in shining armor in your movie. Put your lips on mine and love the aftertaste now. Buddha is laid out on the floor when he ends up finding Zerofuku's old weapon and proceeds to do a Volander with Zerofuku. Usually a Valkyrie and a human do it, but now it's two gods combining to become the ultimate weapon. The squabble commences and they continue to go hit for hit, but it seems like Buddha has the upper hand. He parries Papias like a true Sekiro player and cuts him across the chest, and just when it seemed like it was gonna be a stalemate, Buddha awakens his Mangekyo Sharingan, sidestepping Papias' attacks and using After Image to dodge the final hit, allowing him to catch Papias off guard. Light skin breathing. Second form, Shining Slash. And with that, Buddha brings home yet another W for the humans. How sensational, how beautiful, how exquisite. Even though they have been using the same formula for majority of the fights, I have yet to get bored of it. We end up finding out about the potential next matchup of season 3, which is going to be Hades, the king of the underworld, versus this guy. And even without really knowing who he is, my aura scouter tells me he's going to be a problem. Got him out here looking like Satoru Gojo. So you already know, if this video gets 5k likes, we'll run up season 3 when it comes out. But hey, I appreciate you guys for sticking till the end. I'm gonna try to get out an Inazuma 11 video next, inshallah, before the end of the year. Hopefully that's the plan. But make sure to leave a like and subscribe so that we can end the year strong. I want to win that race. And that's it from me. Peace. Oh, and YouTube says that you'll actually enjoy the video that's right here on the screen right now. So make sure you click that and tap in with the Instagram. Peace.